Alrighty. What's up everyone? Accumulates Gaming here. And today we're going to be doing a Monster Legends live stream in the form of whatever you're seeing here. Give me a second to fix this real quick. Because I had this set for something else originally. So. Whoops, did not want to do that. Lock that. There we are. There we are. Perfect. That works just fine there. Do that. Okay. Now the last thing I need to do is this real quick. Alrighty. Can you try to speak for a second to see if it works? Oh, I'm muted. Give me a sec. Okay, I forgot I had to unmute myself after working with my thing real quick. Can you try to speak for a sec? Okay, because I have somebody with me today, but they might be AFK at the very moment, so while we wait for him to get back, we might as well show you what's going on in the game today. So, as you can tell, we have a brand new season of Monster Legends. There's actually this Black Friday chest, which is part of a time challenge, and I'll show you that in a sec. Let me move that real quick. Okay. Let's see here. Let's go over to... Is it... Here it is. Here's the time challenge. And we can get these chests and whatnot. You'll mostly find those in this dungeon right here. The Era Survival Dungeon is where you'll find the majority of them. We also have a new Legends Pass. However, since I got a different... Considering the fact that I got a different monster... Because I have a beta on this account... And for my main account as well... The Aquarium... the newest Legends Pass monster... is originally supposed to be in here. Give me a quick second. I'll be right back. And I am back, ladies and gents. Give me just a second to do something. Because I just got dinner as well while doing the stream. Grabbing my mini table over here as well. Here we are. Perfect. I think you can barely see it, but dinner. Alrighty. Alright, now let's get back to the topic at hand. As I was saying, this monster right here is Dark Aquarium, which I have as a maze monster because I have the beta maze for this type of thing. And in here is where the previous Legends Past monster was, Errant Wind, who can do corrupted and extra turn skills. Which is interesting to say the least. Though his traits are piss poor, honestly. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, they are piss poor, traits. With that said, let's show you what else is going on. In here, we got a brand new ancestor right here. And we're Pain Craver. I'll show you real quickly. Oh, these are the two monsters currently released for his synergy. This monster himself, and this. Let's actually go into here, and I'll show you Pain Craver's traits ahead of time. So, if you can tell, at Ring 0, he has Cold Blood. Ring 1, Anticipation, which is really good for its support. Rank 3, Immune to Freeze. Rank 4, Status Caster Area Nightmares. And Rank 5, Status Caster Area Stamina Link. I like this. And he's also the newest, fastest monster in the game as well, of almost 18,000 speed, which is insane for a speed stat. And he's also the Dark Blaze ancestor. So that's fun. Alrighty. Now, without further ado, let's actually get this started with these 3 skill sheets, which I will put into full screen real quick here. I need to check something. Okay, so my friend unfortunately left the call, but it's fine. Okay. So, let's actually get this part done. So, Pulsebane. He is, if I remember correctly, a controller, yeah. Pulsebane is a magic and thunder controller that can do cooldown activations, time stop, and I believe shock in some states. Alright. Alright. Now, he has a life of 555, 849 for this generation. That's a little bit on the low side. I think that might be actually the lowest out of all of them so far. But I could be wrong. His power is 22,231. Interesting. And his speed stat is 15,983, which is on the slower side for a controller as well for this era so far. And then here are his evolving trait of rank 0 Resurrection Block, which is which is the prime reason I want this monster really fucking badly. Highly ranked up too. Super attuned to ring 1. Not really that surprising, but it's a decent-ish trait for stamina. And rank 3, status caster area shock, which could actually stop not resurrector. Well, obviously he can stop a resurrector in his tracks with this trait already, but he can also stop extra turners in his tracks as well with the status caster, which is nice. His relics are mask and trap. Couldn't ask for better relics, honestly, for a denier in this case, because he can even use a couple of good masks already released, such as Supreme Mask and probably Fiery Forces Mask too. That could be useful for him. And then he can use Trap, which can hold Slumster's Trap, Adderless's Trap, Volcanix's Trap, and quite a few other traps in the Ancestral category. For books, you got Soul Slayer, Elementals, and Spirits. Which I actually like. I actually like that he's in the Spirits book, because it's a generic book, which is what I like about that specifically. That's something I really like. So yeah. Now let's move on to his skills. So, Hooded Misfortune deals moderate thunder damage. One enemy applies shock to one enemy. Single target thunder shock skill. So, thunder damage with shock, and it's no cooldown as well, as most basic skills, are. 22 stamina cost. Torment for all. Deals low magic damage to all enemies, does literally an AoE magic damage with no cooldown. And 20 damage AoE. Memories of Terror. Deals moderate thunder damage to one enemy, applies time stop to one enemy. Okay. That's a one-turn cooldown too. I might actually take that skill, maybe. And it's one of his most powerful skills too, along with Hooded Misfortune and one of his other skills I'll get onto in a minute. Burning Spirit deals moderate magic damage to one enemy, applies... Actually activates all cooldowns on one enemy. Good. That could be a really good skill to run, actually, since it's also on a one-turn cooldown. I may actually take that skill, I'm not gonna lie. Undying Curse. Deals moderate thunder damage to one enemy, applies mega time stop to one enemy, which could be good to be used with Primarion Unimate as of recently. That could be very, very good to have. Undying Curse. Yep. Miserable Coincidence. Removes evasion from one enemy. Activates all cooldowns on one enemy and gets an extra turn to itself. 2-turn cooldown, extra turn, CDA. Not bad. I even like the fact that this mega time stops on a 1-turn cooldown. I may honestly take that for Primarion Unimate purposes. Thunder Aura deals low thunder damage to all enemies. Applies time stop to all enemies. 2-turn cooldown, AoE time stop, which is not bad. And then Fearsome Reputation. Deals low magic damage up to all enemies, activates all cooldowns, and applies shock to all enemies. This might be a must-have skill for obvious reasons, because activates all cooldowns on everyone, and also applies shock. And then his ult, Necromantic Chaos. Removes positive status effects from all enemies, disables traits on all enemies. Applies mega time stop and shock to all enemies. Not bad. I like his ult. Even though it does no damage, it is a good ult for controller purposes. So the main skill set I would probably take is honestly Burning Spirit or Hooded Misfortune as one of the single target damaging skills. Undying Curse, Miserable Coincidence, and Fearsome Reputation for sure. I'm probably not gonna take Thunder Aura for reasons, honestly. I like the single targets this monster has. It could be very, very useful in some cases, honestly. So that's why I'm gonna take a lot of those skills. And yeah, that's what I would take for him. This is not what I wanted to do. First, there we go. Remove that. There we go. Let me actually take a bite out of my burger before I actually make it cold. Not bad. Ready? Right. Now we have Darkquarium, the monster I showed you in the maze earlier in the stream. So. He's supposed to be a tank, I believe. With a lot of tortures, too, surprisingly enough. His life, 562, 183, which is probably on the higher end for a tank, honestly. Not the highest yet for these mythics, but it's on the it's getting close to Fire Sword Tree's stat. Power stat is 22,280, or 880, my bad. Pretty nice power stat. And his speed is 15,575. Actually, wait a second. I think he's an attacker. That or he is a tank. I'm not too sure. Anyways. His relics are sword and armor. His books are Dark Blades, because he's part of the Dark Blades faction. Wielders, and Evil Legions. And his evolving trait, immune to control at rank 0, tough at rank 1, and self-skill mirror for 1 turn at rank 3. As a stats caster, that could be really, really good in some cases. I'm not gonna lie. That could be really, really good for some areas of the game. So yeah, that's fun. I think he's the second monster to ever have that trait as a stats caster, because I know that, I'm trying to remember his name, but he was a galactic monster. Oh, Debunka. He was the last monster to actually, and the only monster at first before this monster was released, to actually have Skill Mirror as a stats caster. Congratulations, Darkquarium, you're the second monster to have it. His elements are water and metal. Alright. Here are his basic skills, iron and water. Deals moderate water damage to one enemy, 40 stamina no cooldown, and 22 stamina cost. Well, 40 damage no cooldown, and 22 stamina cost. Out of my way, I like that skill name. Deals very low metal damage to all enemies, applies bleed to all enemies, no cooldown, 10 damage, and 29 stamina cost. March and Smash. Deals moderate water damage to one enemy, applies boiling to one enemy. That's also a no cooldown skill. That's nice, actually. And it also has a 26 stamina cost too. Not bad. Open the castle, moderate water damage to all enemies, and applies boiling to all enemies. 1 turn cooldown, and has a 25 damage AoE. I might take that skill, honestly. It depends. It's a good skill too. Alright. A blade and a half. Deals heavy water damage to one enemy, applies drown to one enemy, applies and boiling to one enemy. Hello there, my love in the chat. I am currently streaming. And I'm also reviewing these monsters on the stream. Glad you can make it. Alright. Anyways, let's actually continue. Also, that was the strongest skill he has, too, okay? Boiling Parasite. Deals moderate metal damage to all enemies, applies nanovirus, and it removes 30% of stamina from all enemies. Okay. Nice 2-turn cooldown, too. I like that. Okay. I like the nanovirus, too. Fishbowl of Death. Deals moderate low water damage to all enemies, applies drown, and removes 30% of stamina from all enemies. That could be good as well. I'm honestly going to take Boiling Parasite instead of Fishbowl of Death, to be fair. Because I probably want a Blade and a Half as well, or the Boiling. Depending on what I want to use, it depends. Alright. Now, the last skill is actually a funny one, but it also is also not a good skill to run unless you are countering them. Unless you can counter it with someone with an area immune to death countdown skill, or a trait in general. Out with a Boom. 100% chance of killing itself, which is obviously not good unless you have Diablo's Hellbringer. And it also applies nanovirus, bleed, and boiling to all enemies. And no stamina cost too. Well, that actually might be a nice skill to have if you have Diablos on your team. And a new ancestor. That could be really useful. I'm not gonna lie. Especially if you're not gonna be using Pancraver that much. For the instant kill parts, which I'll get to shortly and why I say that. And then the ultimate skill, Trip to the Aquarium. Disables trait on all enemies, deal moderate water damage to all enemies, and applies stun and a random torture to all enemies. That's very, very nice. Okay. And the skill set I would recommend for Dark Aquarium, in my personal opinion, is probably going to be Boiling Parasite, a Blade and a Half, probably Open the Castle as well, honestly, and maybe Out with a Boom in some cases. Otherwise, the other main skill I would use is probably March and Smash. So I'll probably take all of Tier 1 and 2 mostly, to be honest, because it's going to be an easier skill set to run with. I wouldn't really take the Tier 3 skill sets unless I'm using a strategy to work with Out with a Boom. That's roughly about it on that end. Okay. Next is the Ancestor. Or the final one, actually. It's the Ancestor. So, let's get into it, everyone. We have a life stat of 629, 741, my bad. I think that's actually the highest life in the game currently. Maybe he's tied with the recent ancestor of last season. Who knows? His power stat is 24,673. And his speed is 17,952, which makes him officially the fastest monster in the game currently. And he's dark in water, and as we said before, this is his trait, as we went over earlier. But his awakening condition and virtues we'll talk about now. His awakening condition is 3 monsters must be resurrected by anyone, which means 3 monsters will be resurrected from any team. Enemy or ally has to resurrect. 3 times combined in order for his virtue to awaken. And his virtue is control and torture immunity, which honestly is kind of busted, to be honest, for support. I'm not gonna lie. His relics are staff and banner. I like the fact that he can hold a staff, especially if we're going to be pairing him up with Diablo's Hellbringer. He could be a very good ally for him as well, using the trying to remember that name of the Sea Old Guard staff, and you can probably use any stamina regen banner or such as Syndicate banner. Let me think. You can also use one of the diamond banners, actually, which is the Mr. Beast banner, or you can even use the banner that also, you can also use 2 of the Obsidian banners as well, which is Flash Arion's banner, that's also good with this monster, and Alaworth's banner for healing purposes. Yeah. You got quite a few banners to choose from for this monster, and you could also use stamina regen staffs on this monster if needed, or even Avenger staff too, if you're running also a controller in your team, such as the main monster, or the main controller, which would be any controller you're using, even Hellbringer. Books are Dark Blades, Assassing Ancestor for it, Undead, and Underworld. I like that he's in 2 different regular books, so that actually could be very, very good for war restrictions. He's in 4 different restrictions: Dark Water, Undead, and Underworld. Really, really good in my opinion for the war restrictions. Now, let's read his stuff. And where is my name? Deals moderate dark damage to all enemies, applies nightmares to one enemy. Well, actually to one enemy is what I meant to say earlier for this name. Cost of 30 stamina, no cooldown, and 30 damage. And it's Pain I Crave. Deals very low water damage to all enemies, applies stamina leak to all enemies, no cooldown, 10 damage, and 30 stamina cost. Okay. Probably won't take that anyway. I might take And Where Is My Name though if necessary with certain combos. Blood Blind applies total blind to one enemy. 2-turn cooldown. I would not recommend the skill at all. Period. It's not a good skill because of that cooldown, and it only does one thing. It's a matter of time. Applies a 3-turn death countdown and an extra turn to one enemy and an extra turn to itself. This could be useful in some situations, honestly. Especially if you're trying to get a dodge area monster done with Death Countdown, and the other 2 with the other 2 allies with Death Countdown as well, as long as there's no Megaton on the field. And even then, with a Megaton on the field, he has Cold Blood as a trait, so he could actually just bypass that. Don't be shy. Removes positive effects from one enemy, applies stamina leak to one enemy, 1-turn cooldown. Honestly, I like that skill. Death is Patient. Applies a 3-turn death countdown to all enemies. 2-turn cooldown, death countdown, that can be really nice. Cut the Veil. Deals low water damage to all enemies, removes evasion from all enemies. I would not take this skill, honestly, because there is a better skill for this one. Ancestral Dark Magic. Deals low dark damage to all enemies, applies Nightmare, Stamina Leak, and Blind to all enemies. I might take this, it depends. Because that could be a good skill to run for debuffing purposes. Okay, and here's his tier 4 skill set, which I would actually recommend the majority of these, honestly. With the I'll guide you, it's a dependent one. I'll tell you about that why in just a minute. Alright, the Collector. Removes positive effects from all enemies, gets 1 extra turn to itself. That's a must-have skill for obvious reasons. Because, well, extra turn and area PER. That can be really, really good in some situations. Especially since he has anticipation himself. Don't hide. Removes evasion from all enemies, applies total blind to all enemies, and a 3-turn death countdown to all enemies. This is a must-have skill as well, because it removes evasion, just in case you need to be able to land these skills. So yeah, or these status effects specifically. So that could be really good. Obviously against Hellbringer, this will be rather useless. This skill would be rendered useless because he's immune to both blind and death countdown by area, I believe. The next skill, I'll guide you. Deals low dark damage to all enemies, applies total blind and nightmares to all enemies. I wouldn't really run the skill, honestly, because you already have Don't Hide. That does a lot more than the skill. Even though it does damage, I wouldn't really recommend taking it, to be completely honest. So these two are for sure must-haves. Join Me in Life. Resurrects all allies with 50% life. This is a must-have skill as well for his virtues especially. And it's also a resurrection skill. He's also the first ancestor to resurrect with his skill set and not his ult. Technically, the ult can also be used, in the sense with Obscura for resurrection, but it's not ideal. So, Join Me in Life is going to be a really good skill to run, honestly, for that. And then, his ultimate, which honestly might be the most overpowered ult in the game, so by far, Join Me in Death. Removes death countdown from all enemies and applies insta-kill to anyone if their status effect was removed. Which is broken as fuck. It is seriously broken, and I love that skill already when I playtested him earlier with a friend and whatnot in a battle. It was so broken. And I loved it. Like, god damn. With that said, actually that might be it for the it for the skill sheets. I may also cut the stream here too. So, with that said, okay, there we go, that's better. With that said, thank you all for watching the stream, and if you enjoyed the stream, hit the like button, and hit the subscribe button too if you're new to the channel as well. As I still have dinner to eat and whatnot, and probably gonna go talk to friends afterward, I will cut the stream here. But hopefully you guys all enjoyed the stream. Thank you all again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace out.